Hi, mathematicians. Thanks for joining back in to another math lesson. You took the test, so we're going on to chapter 17. It's angles and lines. You're going to need your student reference guide. Page 266 is where it starts. Angles and lines. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This little girl, she says, here's an angle at the window. She is thinking, these lines do not meet. Do they have a special name? She's talking about these ones here. Let's see, he says, my angle is the same size as yours. Yeah, they do. All right, so the big idea is that angles and lines can be found all around us. These can be described with special names, okay? Let's just do a little quick check. You would have done some lines back when you were in second grade. I realized that was a long time ago. So let's do a quick little review here. So parts of lines, identifying parts and lines of curves. These are lines, these are curves. Lines are straight, curves are not. Which are parts of lines, which are curves. So this is a line, and this would be a curve. This would be a line. We've got a curve, a line, curve, a line, and a curve. Okay, here's some vocabulary that we're going to learn about. Point, line, line segment, angle, and endpoint. Here's what we're going to learn in this lesson. It says we're going to find angles in plane shapes and real world objects. We're going to compare the number of sides and angles of plane shapes. Let's learn. Identify and name a point, line, and line segment. So a point is an exact location in space, and they just labeled it with an A. This is point A. A line is a straight path. It goes on without end in both directions as shown by the arrows. These arrows here, it's showing this line's going on in that direction forever, and this line's going on in that direction forever. The line passes through the points A and B, and you can name it line AB or BA. So you can name it this way, AB, or you can name it going this way, BA. Doesn't matter, it'd be the same line. A line segment is part of the line, and it has two endpoints. These are the endpoints. Notice they're just the circles. There's no arrows. This line has an arrow. That's why it's a line. This is a line segment because it is just a piece of the line. This line segment has two endpoints, C and D, so you can name it C and D or you can name it DC. Doesn't matter. Guided learning, make sure you've got your math notes and a pencil and an eraser. It says identify each figure as a point, line, or line segment. Okay, well, go ahead and pause me while you write down numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all you have to say is either a line, or sorry, a point, a line, or a line segment. Point, a line, or a line segment. Go ahead and pause. Okay, well, let's go through these answers, these first 5. So number 1, it's a line. You could have named it CD or DC. 2, it's a point, B. Number 3 is a line segment, because there are no arrows. You could name it line segment FG or GF. Number 4, this one says find the number of line segments in each plane shape. So think about that. The number of line segments, how many are there? I count 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one, let's see. How many line segments? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's look at this example next. Identify an angle. It says, when two line segments share the same endpoint, they form an angle. Okay, here's what it looks like. He says, draw a curve to mark the angle. This is the curve that he's talking about, this little red curve right here. It says this angle is formed by two line segments, HG and HJ. Here's HG and here's HJ. The line segments have the same endpoint, H. And then he says, can you make an angle with your arm like Andrew? Yeah, here's Andrew's angle in his arm. Okay, let's continue the guided learning. It says, look at the pairs of craft sticks. Which pairs form an angle? Which pairs form an angle? And if you forget what an angle is, just go back. Here's identifying an angle. Remember, it's two line segments and they both have the same endpoint, so you want to be looking for that here. I'll give you a minute to find the pairs that form an angle and then to find the pairs that do not form an angle. Okay, it looks like A forms an angle, C forms an angle, D forms an angle, and F forms an angle. Therefore, B and E do not form any angles. Which pairs form an angle down here? We've got number 8, 9, 10, and 11. Which pairs form an angle? No angles here. These two do not connect. Same with these. No angles here. Ooh, here we go. Two line segments and they connect at an endpoint. Yes, that forms an angle. And again, these ones don't because they don't connect. Okay, let's look at another example. Find angles in plane shapes and real world objects. It says, look at the square and triangle. Now she says that in a plane shape, two sides meet at a corner to form an angle. The square has 4 angles, the triangle has 3 angles. And then down below it says, here are some examples of angles found on objects. Can you find angles around you? Okay, doors, the corners, stop sign, yep. A kite has a corner. Your roof, no matter, well, some roofs are flat, so not all roofs would look like that, but a lot do. It says, in an object, two sides meet at a corner to form an angle. Okay, let's practice a little bit more. Guided learning, it continues. Find the number of angles in each plane shape. Go ahead and pause me while you count the number of angles. All right, well, here we go. There's 4 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 4. And this one has 4. Another example, compare the number of sides and angles of a plane shape. The triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. The rectangle has 4 sides and 4 angles. How many sides and angles does a square have? Looks like 4. Okay, let's go down here where it says complete. So shape A has blank sides and blank angles. Why don't you pause me while you go through these very quickly and just jot those answers down, and then I'll share the answers with you in a moment. Okay, here we go. So number 16, it says shape A has 3 sides and 3 angles. 17, shape B has 4 sides and 4 angles. Number 18, shape C has 4 sides and 4 angles. 19, shape D has 6 sides and 6 angles. So what do you notice about the number of sides and angles in each shape? Hopefully you noticed that it's the same number of sides and the same number of angles. They are the same. Okay, this next activity you can do at the end of the lesson. It's a great hands-on activity that you could do at home. You would just draw these different sided shapes. You'd mark and color the angles on the shape. Here's the example. And then you would copy and complete a table to show the number of angles in each shape. Let's practice. All right, so you're gonna do the let's practice on your own and check back with this video for the answers. Let's practice is gonna go through number 1 through 16, and then I will share the answers to the homework workbook pages, which are page 173 to 178. It's actually not a lot of writing. You'll see when you get into your workbook. Have fun with lines and angles today. Okay, I will unshare my screen so that I can share the answers. Here's the let's practice. And here's the second page from the let's practice. And then actually right here, this is the first page of the homework, and then the second. And then it continues on the back.